The King's Avatar, Chapter 1452 One Step Above. Audio source, wusharworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1452, One Step Above. Translator, Nomiyami. Editor, Nomiyami. The atmosphere in the stadium livened up. The previous rounds had reflected Blue Rain's reasons for their map choice. There was layer upon layer of hidden intent. In the last round, Fang Rui and Lu Hanwen had fought face-to-face. However, everyone was wary of Fang Rui, afraid he would suddenly slip away. And when Fang Rui fought, he still played dirty. The greatest strength of playing dirty was that it not only struck at your character, but at your heart too. Lu Hanwen had won quite handily, but Blue Rain's fans had been worried the entire time. It was fine now. A matchup that everyone could enjoy had finally arrived. Spear versus sword. The two weapons clashed and collided, immensely satisfying. Even so, Blue Rain's fans couldn't be entirely happy because their Lu Hanwen's Flowing Cloud only had 23% health left. It wasn't suitable for him to fight head-on. Blue Rain's fans were conflicted. They wanted to watch this sort of battle, but they were worried about how it was disadvantageous for their team. 23%. Let's hope for a miracle. Their hearts were gripped with anxiety. They didn't dare to look down on Tang Rou. Her reputation had hit rock bottom as soon as her pro career began, but the Alliance still gave her the title of Best Rookie despite the controversy. It could be seen just how convincing her performance in the regular season was. A player who won Best Rookie could not be treated like a normal rookie. Could he do it with 23% health? Blue Rain's fans were so worried that they were too scared to look at Flowing Cloud's health. But whether they looked at it or not, his health would still fall in this unyielding battle. 47 seconds. After Lu Hanwen's Flowing Cloud rushed out from behind a tree and launched a sneak attack, the battle had lasted for 47 seconds. In the end, Flowing Cloud fell. Lu Hanwen had done his best. He knew that with Flowing Cloud's health, he could not trade hit point for hit point. He had done his best to avoid forced trades with Tang Rou and played more flexibly. Nonetheless, the fight only lasted 47 seconds. Flowing Cloud had no more health left. Soft Mist had lost 31% of her health. From the numbers, Soft Mist had lost more health than Flowing Cloud in this battle. It appeared as if Tang Rou hadn't played as well as Lu Hanwen. But wins couldn't be looked at from statistics alone. After all, a player played differently depending on their circumstances. Lu Hanwen need to play flexibly and focus on defending. Tang Rou could be more aggressive and forceful. It was only by utilizing an advantage that it could be called an advantage. Lu Hanwen came down from the stage. 23% for 31%. It wasn't an impressive trade. Blue Rain's fans had higher expectations. It wasn't a bad trade though. When Lu Hanwen came down from the stage, the crowd applauded fervently. As for Lu Hanwen himself, he was somewhat unhappy with the result. He had performed to the best of his ability though. Though he was disappointed, there weren't any moments which he had felt upset about. It simply meant that he wasn't good enough. I need to continue working harder. Lu Hanwen returned to his team with this resolution. Their last player in the group arena appeared on the big screen. To no one's surprise, Blue Rain's anchor was their number one player, Huang Shaoshan. The cheers from the crowd reached a peak. He was Blue Rain's last hope for the group arena and their ace player. Last round. Blue Rain's fans didn't want to think about what happened in the last group arena. They just hoped that Huang Shaoshan could hold on to Blue Rain's last point at this crucial moment. Huang Shaoshan went onto the stage and entered the player booth. The crowd instantly quieted down. Everyone stared at the big screen, at the loading screen, at Troubling Rain's spawn point shown by the holographic projection technology. The match began. "Where are we meeting?" Tang Rou said bluntly. "Wait for my ambush." Huang Shaoshan replied quickly. Troubling Rain moved swiftly, taking the right road, the roundabout path on the west side. Huang Shaoshan's opening was the same as Lu Hanwen's. Tang Rou didn't make any changes. Her soft mist went straight for the center. Soft mist arrived first. As for Troubling Rain, Huang Shaoshan seemed to have copied Lu Hanwen's pathing. He chose the same direction, the same route, and even the same ambush spot as Flowing Cloud. Then, he began observing Soft Mist. Is he planning on teaching Lu Hanwen? Pan Lin said. He shouldn't be. Li Yibo said. This was the playoffs, and Team Blue Rain was on the verge of being eliminated. No matter how important it was to teach a junior, it couldn't be as important as the team's playoffs run, no. Unless Huang Shaoshan was truly confident that he could beat Tang Rou with ease. But those familiar with Huang Shaoshan knew that no matter how much smack he talked, he was never careless. If even a tiny opening appeared, it didn't matter if you were a god or a rookie, he would seize it without question. He probably just thinks it's a good opening play too. Li Yibo said. The audience members were discussing it amongst each other. Everyone thought Huang Shaoshan must be trying to tell Lu Hanwen something. The two teams, Blue Rain and Happy, were also discussing Huang Shaoshan's actions. But before they could discuss it for too long, Huang Shaoshan made a move. Troubling Rain rushed out. Yes, it was similar to what Lu Hanwen had done. While Tang Rou's line of sight was turned away, he launched a very simple and very crude sneak attack from the back. But Troubling Rain was faster. His silver weapon, Ice Rain, had a much higher attack speed and a much lighter weight than Flowing Cloud's Flame Shadow. All of these factors determined Troubling Rain's faster movements. Among these, attack speed was more important, while weight had less of an impact. How would Tang Rou respond? She responded the same way to the same attack. Although she was surprised that Huang Shaoshan would actually copy Lu Hanwen's opening, it didn't affect how fast she reacted to it. Soft Mist rolled. The moment she got up, her spear slashed upwards in a counterattack. Pooh! A streak of blood flew into the air. Troubling Rain's silver weapon, Ice Rain, struck the rolling Soft Mist. The sword didn't pause. Without any extra movements or any wasted inputs, the second slash came. Pooh 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 pooh. Sword light danced as sword and body collided. As Soft Mist rolled, 4 attacks had hit her, a mix of skills and normal attacks. Tang Rou's counter-attack was completely sealed and didn't come out. After the 4 attacks, Tang Rou saw a slight opening. Dragon Tooth. Soft Mist stabbed towards Troubling Rain with her spear. But Troubling Rain sidestepped it and attacked in retaliation. Downwind Sword Slash. His sword slid across Soft Mist's spear. WuxRWorldAudio.com. The viewers could even heard the whistle from Ice Rain and dancing fire flowing flame. The sword light split into 2. This downwind sword slash had stopped Dragon Tooth mid-attack. If Tang Rou continued with the attack, she would miss. Cancelling her attack would require an input which would give her too little time to dodge. The threat of downwind sword slash was frightening. As the sword light flew her way, Soft Mist rolled backwards. Everyone was dumbstruck. It was the same attack, but when Lu Hanwen and Tang Rou fought, it had been even. On the other hand, Huang Shaoshan immediately suppressed Tang Rou. What was Huang Shaoshan trying to tell Lu Hanwen? Can't tell. It looked as if Huang Shaoshan was slapping Lu Hanwen in the face. Look, I can do what you can't. As for how he did it, he's faster. Quote. This was Pan Lin's understanding of it. Openings. It's all about finding openings, Li Yibo emphasized. Despite being in a similar situation, Huang Shaoshan's timing was far better than Lu Hanwen's. That downwind sword slash was the same. Huang Shaoshan could have directly followed with this attack previously, but that would have given Tang Rou some space to dodge it. He intentionally created an opening for Tang Rou to take, but he had been waiting for her to attack. Tang Rou was unable to do anything in response. It was a beautiful play. So he really is different. Quote, after Li Yibo's analysis, Pan Lin sighed. Both Lu Hanwen and Huang Shaoshan were blade masters, but Huang Shaoshan was clearly on a higher level. After downwind sword slash, Huang Shaoshan continued his offense. After a few more exchanges, he no longer seemed as dominant. Tang Rou is not bad at defending, Li Yibo said. That's a huge improvement. Pan Lin smiled. During the regular season, the two had commented on Tang Rou's view on defending. Tang Rou followed the belief that offense was the best defense. This belief had its justifications, but these were justifications. The saying never indicated that defense was not important. Tang Rou's defense wasn't bad. Despite Huang Shaoshan taking the initiative with his sneak attack, she was defending to limit her opponent's attack options. As a result, Huang Shaoshan was very generous and promptly gave another opening. An excellent opening for Tang Rou to counterattack. End chapter.
The King's Avatar, Chapter 1453. Opening. Audio source, wushouworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1453. Opening. Translator, Gnome Yummy. Editor, Gnome Yummy. Chance. Pan Lin shouted, but as soon as he called it out, he wondered, was this really an opportunity? The experienced players, who were familiar with Huang Shaoshan, like Yishu, saw through it immediately. The cake was a lie. It was a cake filled with poison. If Tang Rou tried to seize this opportunity, Huang Shaoshan would most likely retaliate fiercely after just one move. If you saw through it and didn't take the opportunity, what then? This opening would give Huang Shaoshan an opportunity to make adjustments. His previous assault had reached a certain point and then stopped. He left this opening at the perfect time. Whether the opponent attacked or not, Huang Shaoshan could re-establish his attack tempo. The advantages were all his. Amazing. Everyone sighed inwardly. Opportunists couldn't only be good at finding opportunities, creating opportunities was just as important. Huang Shaoshan had given away this opening at the perfect time. If he had given away this opening a bit earlier or a bit later, the outcome would not have been as perfect. If I saw this opening, what would I have done? The pro players who saw the opening asked themselves this question. As for Tang Rou, she didn't have time to think so much. Combat was all about timing, and opportunities didn't last forever. Counterattack. For Tang Rou, this bait was too enticing. The moment the opening appeared, she instinctively took action. Soft mist turned her wrists. Her actions immediately caught Huang Shaoshan's attention. Tang Rou moved exactly how he predicted she would. This girl's style was always so intense. Everyone had a clear understanding of it. Come. Huang Shaoshan had been ready. Troubling rain also turned his wrists slightly. But soft mist's turn of the wrist became more and more rapid. It was as if she were squeezing out all the energy she could muster. The spear in her hand seemed to want to fly out of her hands. This is... Huang Shaoshan suddenly frowned. He had predicted that Tang Rou would immediately seize the opening and attack, but he didn't expect her to counterattack so fiercely. Beautiful. Yishu praised from below the stage. Huang Shaoshan giving away the opening and Tang Rou seizing it took only an instant. When Yishu said these words, it was hard to tell if he was praising Huang Shaoshan or Soft Mist. Soft Mist rushed out. Dragon breaks the ranks. An opening suddenly appeared at such a close distance. A dragon tooth would perhaps be the fastest way to seize it. A falling flower palm would give her more momentum. A tyrant's destruction wouldn't have been a bad choice either. But Dragon breaks the ranks. Tangru unexpectedly used such a high-level skill. No matter how much she liked this move, it didn't seem logical. High-level skills required more inputs than low-level skills. As a result, high-level skills were almost always prepped by low-level skills as setups to ensure the high-level skill would hit. But Tangru used a high-level skill to seize such a tiny opening. This was a form of confidence. She wasn't worried that her hand speed wouldn't be enough to complete all the inputs in this short window. And in the end, she completed it. Dragon breaks the ranks. Dancing fire flowing flame flew out along with soft mist, its surging momentum stirring up the surrounding fog. Dodge. Huang Shaoshan was in a fluster facing this attack. The hitbox of Dragon breaks the ranks wasn't just the tip of the spear. The powerful force of the strike tore through the air like whirlwinds. These whirling air currents brought along the destructiveness of the strike, turning the attack into an AoE skill. And in this map, the whirling air currents could clearly be seen because of the fog. The fog was pierced through and blown away. Shua. A sword light flashed out, not towards soft mist but to the side. Triple slash. To dodge this Dragon breaks the ranks, Huang Shaoshan immediately used a skill. Triple slash was his fastest movement skill. However, the powerful air currents from Dragon breaks the ranks made Troubling Rain lose his balance. Huang Shaoshan's control over his character was valiant though. He stabilized himself with the second attack of triple slash, but with the second part burned, it was too late to chase after soft mist with the third. The movement from Dragon breaks the ranks was fast and powerful. Yishu felt that it was a pity. What's wrong? Chen Guo asked. So close. She almost had him. If she had adjusted it according to the triple slash, it would have hit, Yishu said. Chen Guo stared blankly. Could a human even do that? Yishu's criticism was too nitpicky. Aren't you asking for too much? Wei Chen also thought the same. Little Tang wouldn't care, Yishu said. Okay. Everyone could only acknowledge this point helplessly. Could you even do it? Chen Guo suddenly asked. I'd try it, Yishu replied. Even he wasn't 100% confident either. The window had truly been too short. Dragon breaks the ranks didn't hit Troubling Rain, but Huang Shaoshan's motive for giving away the opening was ruined by Tangru's boldness. Was it a coincidence? Or had she seen through it? Pan Lin and Li Yibo were discussing this issue, but the answer didn't really matter. Huang Shaoshan didn't care either and typed out a message. How brave. Doing the same thing twice? Don't you think that's a bit much? Tangru replied. Pan Lin and Li Yibo stopped their discussion. Tangru's reply said everything. Was it too obvious? It looks like I underestimated you. I'll take it more seriously next. Watch my sword. Shua shua shua. 4 messages came out in the chat. Huang Shaoshan had begun his chat spam. But when he shouted, "Watch my sword," it was soft mist's dancing fire flowing flame that flying at him. Tangru was truly a representative of someone who took action. How could she stop to appreciate Huang Shaoshan's trash talk? The moment she gave her reply, soft mist had already turned around. When Huang Shaoshan typed out his 4 messages, her soft mist had started to attack. 2-2-2-2. 4 consecutive strikes. Dragon Tooth, a normal attack, and then a double stab. 4 strikes at 4 different positions, all of which were dodged by Troubling Rain. Huang Shaoshan was the first god besides Yishu that Tangru had ever met online and offline. WuxiaWorldAudio.com. At that time, Tangru didn't have much of a concept of the pro scene, and she had still been a beginner. She only knew that the player, Flowing Tree, who she was dungeoning with, was an expert. But she didn't really know how skilled he truly was. She only remembered that he and Steamed Bun just kept talking and talking, so her initial impression of Huang Shaoshan was on the same level as Steamed Bun. Now, Tang Ru understood clearly just how skilled Huang Shaotian was. In this 1v1 match so far, her soft mist had yet to create a chaser. Huang Shaotian had always dodged her attacks and never blocked them. By not blocking them, he wasn't giving her an opportunity to create chasers. It sounded very logical, but who could actually completely avoid blocking in practice? Tang Ru experienced it for herself. What's wrong? Do you feel like you're missing something? Huang Shaotian wouldn't stop talking. He kept typing as he fought. Something super important to battle mages. Chasers. The answer is chasers. You're a battle mage. But where are your magic chasers? Huang Shaotian kept talking as he played. If you just looked at the actual content of his words, it was difficult to summarize them. He just said whatever came to his mind. There wasn't any point to it. Sometimes, it sounded like he was making fun of you. Sometimes, he wasn't. Sometimes, he just sounded like an idiot. His cocky tone of voice was absolutely loathsome, but he was stating facts. The ridicule wasn't small. So what? Tang Ru simply replied. So what? Yeah, so what? A battle mage without chasers could still battle. No. Huang Shaotian's taunting didn't bother Tang Ru. Her attacks only became more intense. You're so unwavering. How rare. Huang Shaotian said. He was also unwavering in his trash talk. It was hard to discourage him in this area. Tang Ru ignored him. She simply continued to attack. Huang Shaotian continued to go at his own pace. Block. He didn't completely avoid it. But battle mages could only produce chasers with certain skills, and he always made sure to dodge these skills. He continued to use this method to restrict Soft Mist's full combat ability. At the same time, he carefully observed Soft Mist's offense, constantly harassing, searching for opportunities to establish his offense. Coach Lee, don't you feel that Huang Shaotian is playing rather cautiously and conservatively? Pan Lin said. Of course. Just winning isn't enough. He still has another opponent to beat afterwards. Li Yibo said. Happy's Tang Ru is an aggressive player. Huang Shaotian retreating is exactly what she wants him to do. Pan Lin said. Let's see how it turns out. Li Yibo seemed to have his own thoughts. End chapter. The King's Avatar, Chapter 1454. Annoying. Audio source, wushouworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1454. Annoying. Translator, no Myummy. Editor, no Myummy. Tang Ru's rhythm isn't good. Quote. After careful observation and thought, Li Yibo finally concluded. Oh, too rushed. It's a bit out of control. Li Yibo said. It's not anything too surprising. Pan Lin sighed. When they talked about Tang Ru, losing control of her rhythm was a point that frequently came up. For many rookies, the issue was usually because they lacked confidence. They played scared and overcautious, unable to bring out their full potential. But Tang Ru? She attacked aggressively and fearlessly. Scared? Not at all. No confidence? Also not an issue. Her problems weren't playing scared or playing too careful, but rather playing too aggressive. Playing too aggressively didn't result in her being unable to bring out her full potential. Instead, it pushed her to try for impossible goals, which led to numerous problems. It looks like Tang Ru doesn't have a good solution to this problem. Pan Lin sighed. You can't really say that. Li Yibo said. She actually pays quite a bit of attention to this problem of hers, but Huang Shaotian unwittingly forced her into this trap. Oh, Huang Shaotian is extremely good at controlling the tempo. He's making Tang Ru feel like if she tries just a bit harder, she'll be able to break through. But when she ups the tempo by just a little bit, she discovers that it's still not quite enough. Huang Shaotian has been slowly increasing the tempo to a speed that Tang Ru isn't able to handle, Li Yibo said. Shua shua shua. 3 sword lights, 3 strikes. Opening. Tang Ru finally let out an opening. She had good hand speed. Her awareness, decision-making, and reaction speed weren't bad either. But in this fast-paced battle, her awareness and her decision-making weren't enough to ensure she made no mistakes. She didn't have the experience that Yishu and the others did. Her intuition and instinctive reactions weren't always the most optimal. An opening appeared, and Huang Shaoshan wasn't going to let it pass. The cautious, troubling rain instantly launched a powerful counterattack. 3 streaks of blood flew into the air. Troubling rain attacked fast and finished fast. It wasn't the start of a shift in position. He simply used the opening to deal as much damage as possible to Soft Mist during the short window of time. Tang Ru's playstyle was forceful, and she quickly found her footing again. Huang Shaoshan simply took a step back and let Tang Ru have it. This, Pan Lin didn't understand. Huang Shaoshan's counterattack was so short. Was the opening not enough for him to establish an offensive play? He could have, but because his opponent is Tang Ru, he decided to retreat. Li Yibo said. Why? Because Tang Ru is an extremely aggressive player. If Huang Shaoshan wants to attack, he can't avoid forced trades. If this were a normal 1v1, he would have no fear of doing so. But Happy still has another player, so Huang Shaoshan wants to minimize the amount of damage taken and go into the next match with as much health as possible. Oh, Pan Lin understood. This logic was easy to understand. Huang Shaoshan chose to play differently because of the situation. He calmly controlled the pace and carefully observed his opponent. He carefully dodged or blocked her attacks, and whenever the slightest of openings appeared, he would mercilessly strike it and deal damage to Soft Mist. He was never persistent. After a few attacks, he would go back to being careful and wait for the next opportunity to appear. Huang Shaoshan is teaching Tang Ru an important lesson. His meticulous control over the pace of the battle is absolutely brilliant. Huang Shaoshan sighed. But why does it seem like Tang Ru is speeding up? Pan Lin questioned. Li Yibo immediately checked. Soft Mist's attacks were becoming increasingly fierce. This is, if she isn't able to realize her problems, how can she improve? Li Yibo grieved, feeling disappointed in her. How stubborn. Many of the audience members felt the same way. Tang Ru winning Best Rookie didn't help win her much public favor, instead it only increased the hate towards her. Watching her hit a wall was something many people liked to see. A difference in attitude gave off different opinions. From a positive point of view, Tang Ru recklessly speeding up was a show of unwavering determination and bravery. From a negative point of view, she was stupidly stubborn. She wouldn't shed a tear until she saw the coffin go die. Most people were the latter. They wanted to see Tang Ru fail and feel shame for her loss. But she kept on speeding up, using 100% of her abilities. However, she kept trying to push her limits, using 101%, 102%, 103% of what she had. What is this girl thinking? Huang Shaoshan didn't understand. Huang Shaoshan didn't think she was that ignorant. He didn't think that she didn't know her limits. He didn't think that she didn't know she was leaving all these openings in order to increase her tempo. As for himself, he was Glory's #1 opportunist. You're going to give me all these openings. What's the meaning of this? Huang Shaoshan wondered, but he didn't relent. If a suitable opportunity appeared, Troubling Rain would take action. In order to seize these opportunities, he had no choice but to increase the tempo to match her. Is that her aim? Does she want to wear me down? If that's your plan, then you're too naive. I'm far more experienced than you. My judgment is more precise than yours. Just you alone won't be enough to reach a tempo that I can't control. Before that happens, you'll be the one to fall. Look, another opening. Blade Storm. A storm of blades swept over, a whirl of blue sword light that rushed towards Soft Mist. Suddenly, amidst this dense sea of blue light, red flames burst out. 100 Dragon Meteor Strike. Soft Mist had let out an opening, but she still attacked, abandoning any plans to defend. The 100 Dragon Meteor Strike collided with Troubling Rain's Blade Storm. The attack was meant to cover a fan-like range, but Tang Ru condensed it into a small area, focusing its destructive power. Bang 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 bang. Blue and red light clashed, but some of them still went through. Tang Ru didn't retreat, and it was too late for Huang Shaoshan to cancel it. Rather than be the only one to get hit, it was obviously better to make a trade. Poo 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 poo. Both sides were hurt. Blood splattered as the opposing lights clashed and burst forth. In the end, Huang Shaoshan was the one who won the trade, dealing more damage to Tang Ru than she did to him. However, Huang Shaoshan couldn't be happy about it. His goal was to minimize the damage he took. This trade was completely outside of his expectations. Tang Ru's offense didn't stop. WuxiaWorldAudio.com. After the 100 Dragon Meteor strike, her spear continued to strike at troubling rain. Huang Shaoshan's calmness wasn't shaken by this unexpected exchange. She's still speeding up. He could feel a change in Tang Ru's tempo. After giving up on defending, she focused all of her effort into attacking. As a result, more openings appeared, so much so that Huang Shaoshan wasn't actually sure which openings to seize because there were simply too many good ones. It didn't matter though. Just one opening was enough. If there were this many good openings laid out, then it didn't matter which one he took. Completely reckless, Tang Ru had thrown caution out the window in front of Huang Shaoshan. Facing this opportunist, there was no difference between one opening and 100 openings. Tang Ru didn't care if she gave away any openings. She continued to speed up the tempo. Troubling Rain's sword was about to hit Soft Mist, but facing this reckless offensive, he couldn't avoid taking damage as well. Huang Shaoshan had the upper hand, but it was again at the sacrifice of his original goal. Huang Shaoshan had no doubt that someone who let out 100 openings would never beat him. But at what price? Shit. Huang Shaoshan realized it. At the beginning, he had been baiting Tang Ru to increase the tempo. Huang Shaoshan was very pleased, seeing her fall for it. But just when he thought that a good tempo had been achieved, Tang Ru didn't stop. She raised it even higher. And Huang Shaoshan had no choice but to keep up with her. Huang Shaoshan hadn't thought this reckless move would cause him any trouble. But later, he realized that while Tang Ru left even more openings, she traded it for a more powerful offensive. All of her energy was being put into attacking. A threat. Everyone laughed. With so many openings, how could this sort of offensive be a threat? But Huang Shaoshan knew that it was trouble. He would have no trouble beating Tang Ru. But the trouble was what came after when he needed to face Happy's next player. Tang Ru wasn't playing to win this 1v1, but rather for Happy's next player to win. The damage she could deal couldn't compare to the damage that Huang Shaoshan could deal by taking advantage of her openings. However, she gave Huang Shaoshan no choice but to take damage as well. She wouldn't beat Huang Shaoshan, but she ruined Huang Shaoshan's goal. The moment that Soft Mist fell, she told everyone her intentions. I might lose, but Happy definitely won't. End chapter.